ladies and gentlemen. I'm sure you noticed that Jerry Lawler hasn't been active in the past couple of matches. A little bit earlier tonight, Jerry passed out here at ringside. Jerry collapsed and was helped to the back. He was stretchered to the back to the locker room area, and we understand now that Jerry is receiving medical attention as we speak. They are performing CPR, and again, this is not part of tonight's entertainment. This has happened, and again, Jerry Lawler collapsing at ringside tonight, and they're performing CPR as we speak back in the locker room area. We'll have more information as Monday Night Raw rolls on tonight. Again, ladies and gentlemen, I do want to preface this by saying that this is not part of our entertainment tonight. This is a real-life situation. Earlier this evening, my broadcast colleague, Jerry the King Lawler, passed out while working here at ringside. He collapsed on the ground. He was stretchered to the back where he received CPR. The latest update we have now is he has been taken to a local hospital here in Montreal. We are being told that he is receiving oxygen, but Jerry is breathing on his own. Although this is an extremely serious situation, and Jerry, my friend, my prayers are with you. And out of respect to Jerry tonight, there's going to be no further commentary on this broadcast, but we hope to provide you with some sort of update before we leave the air tonight. And ladies and gentlemen, we leave you tonight on Monday Night Raw with what we believe is encouraging news tonight concerning Jerry the King Lawler. We are being told that Jerry Lawler's condition has stabilized, that Jerry Lawler is breathing on his own, and his heart is beating on his own. To reset what has happened tonight, about an hour ago on Monday Night Raw, Jerry Lawler collapsed here at ringside. He fell from the announce table to the floor. Immediately, our doctors at ringside were administering aid to Jerry Lawler. Medical personnel came out. They stretchered Jerry to the locker room area. Jerry then received CPR. He was stretchered to a waiting ambulance and taken to a nearby medical facility. And again, we can tell you this. Jerry Lawler's condition, according to the hospital, has stabilized. He is breathing on his own. His heart is beating on his own. He is now being prepared for a CAT scan of his chest and his head. And again, ladies and gentlemen, please, your thoughts and prayers for Jerry the King Lawler tonight. And we encourage you to visit WWE.com and all parts of social media for updates throughout the night and throughout the week on Jerry the King Lawler. And on a personal note, Jerry, beat this thing. Get him, King. Good night, everybody.
If you smell what the Rock is cooking.
WBCB presents Pro Wrestling Weekly.
Tell me he didn't just say that.
Call in with a question or comment at 215-949-3232 or 888-922-2149.
The Tower of Power, too sweet to be sour, funky like a monkey, ooh yeah.
And now, here's your host of Pro Wrestling Weekly, Fearon Derry.
It doesn't matter what your name is.
Really? Yeah!
Hello and welcome to Pro Wrestling Weekly here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com. Fearon Derry here with you in what has been an interesting event-filled week, to say the least. For those who missed it, well, you pretty much got the synopsis there in that opening clip, courtesy of Michael Cole. Jerry Lawler, of course, suffering a heart attack this past Monday on Raw. They found that out after the broadcast was over. After working a tag team match earlier on Raw, teaming up with Randy Orton against CM Punk and Dolph Ziggler, Lawler headed back to the commentators' table, called a couple of matches, and then collapsed during the Daniel Bryan and Kane against the Primetime Players match. Was rushed to the backstage area. Reports say that a defibrillator was used 7 times to restart his pulse. He was then rushed to a local hospital in Montreal where he was able to breathe on his own. And updates, they've been flowing throughout the week. He had heart surgery on Tuesday. He was removed from ventilation and sedation later that day. Wednesday, there was a CT scan that showed that there was no brain damage from the heart attack, despite, however many minutes it was of no oxygen going to the brain. So he was extremely lucky in that regard. Tweets and updates from Lawler's girlfriend and family saying that he was awake, alert, and responsive. At the time, he wasn't speaking due to the tubes connected to him. Wednesday night, they finally had some of those tubes disconnected so he could talk with Michael Cole over the phone, and Cole put up a tweet about that on Wednesday night. Thursday, he was able to walk around. He actually sent a tout video out to the wrestling universe to thank them for their support. And the most recent update, according to WREG in Memphis, Lawler's doctors said that in spite of the heart attack, he is healthy for his age at 62, and they don't see any reason why he won't be able to wrestle again after he goes through all the rehabilitation. So a rough start to the week, but it's been nothing but positive news going forward. And seems like the positivity is just rolling through here. As here in studio with me, I've got somebody who you heard from a little bit last week, local wrestler right from right around here, Cory Kastle, who, of course, will be making his return to the ring tonight after, about 12 and a half months following your brain surgery, Cory?
That's correct, yeah. How's everybody doing? All right, cool.
Yeah, it's an interesting week to say the least. But I planned on getting you on here, and it kind of got thrown together at the last minute. So that's why I seem a little more discombobulated than usual. The listeners will know that I'm usually a little out there, a little little off the cuff sometimes.
I really can't tell how combobulated you normally are. So
fair enough. So you're getting it as it all goes along here. I don't even. Well, you know what? Let's talk a little bit. We'll get to the phones in a minute. I know they're already filling up quick here, but let's talk a little bit about. We talked obviously last week about your amazing comeback, and now here we are. Bell time's what? 7:30, 8 o'clock tonight.
7 o'clock.
7 o'clock tonight. So we're under 7 hours away. What's your mindset?
It sounds really dumb, but I feel like as soon as I get my boots on and get my gear on and I'm like ready to do it, then I think it's gonna click. And right now it's just kind of any other day for me at this moment. But
okay, no butterflies, nothing like that.
Not really. Of course I'm nervous, and I know like my mother's nervous, and speaking to my family and things like that, they're a little nervous, but it's gonna be what it is. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be back to normal. It seems like a part of my personality has been gone for quite some time, part of my identity, and now I kind of get to regain that and get to have it back.
And now it comes back. So I guess there's a feeling of relief because of that almost.
Once it's over, I'll feel like, all right, I didn't miss a beat, and getting down to like the training school and getting to like work out and stuff, I feel like I really haven't missed a beat, and it's just a matter of the fans seeing that and me being able to show that to other people besides the people who show up at the training school when I'm there.
Makes a lot of sense. So let's go ahead and get to the phones. You can certainly chat with Cory Kastle, get your thoughts on Lawler. Of course, we had kind of completely swept under the rug in all this. We had a pay-per-view, TNA No Surrender this past Sunday. We've got WWE Night of Champions tomorrow, but Lawler's kind of overshadowed everything for lack of a better term.
Well,
as it should. I was going to say, a human life obviously takes precedence over entertainment, especially when it's one of the entertainers. But we've already got a full board, so let's go ahead and get to it here. Let's start things off with we got Rat Boy on the line. Rat Boy, what's going on?
Yo, man, guess what? I'm here. I'm right down the street from you at George Collectibles, right for Dino Brown.
Good times, Rat Boy. Yes, I was going to bring that up a little bit. Of course, right after the show today from 1 until 3 o'clock, former WWE Intercontinental and European Champion D'Lo Brown. He'll be right down the road from our studios here at George's Cards and Collectibles, right on New Falls Road in Levittown. I'll be over there, and apparently so will Rat Boy, for better or worse. For more info, you can give George's Cards and Collectibles a call at 215-943-2475, or you can log on to georgescollectibles.com. But honestly, it's starting in about 45 minutes. You may as well just make your way over there now, check out some of the great merchandise, memorabilia, and hang out for D'Lo Brown today from 1 until 3 p.m. And doing a little bit of research. I didn't realize this until today, but this is some great news for George and all the folks over there. He's going to have a third location opening up next month at the Quaker Bridge Mall. So there's now 3 locations for George's Cards and Collectibles. The original on New Falls Road, that's where you can check out D'Lo Brown later today. Of course, the Oxford Valley Mall on the lower level across from American Eagle Outfitters. And now a third location coming to the Quaker Bridge Mall starting in October.
Great for him, man. Great for their business. Good for them.
Yeah, George does some awesome stuff.
I mean, at a time where the economy's tough and it's hard for people to start to keep businesses, and he's starting a new one.
Yeah, he's expanding his business. No, kudos to George for that. Good, longtime friend of the show, longtime sponsor.
Fearon, because you never know. I'm going to be working at the one at Quaker Bridge Mall because that's my neck of the woods.
Well, I guess George could afford you. That's for sure.
I just called up, about what happened this week about Jerry the King. I'm telling you, man. Jerry's got well shoe, man.
He's working on it.
I think I'm going to say the announcer for Monday is going to be Michael Cole and JBL's coming back.
Another Rat Boy prediction from totally out in left field. Thanks so much for the call, Rat Boy. We got to get rolling. Yeah, I don't think JBL. If anything, it may be for a 1-week spot. But I mean, JBL's loving retirement right now. He's doing that whole thing where he's climbing the tallest mountains in the world for charity. I don't think he's going to stop that. Even for the King, I don't think he's going to stop at that just to come back to do commentary for Raw for a night. I don't know. I mean. Plus, there's the aspect of the pay-per-view tomorrow, which, again, I mean, Night of Champions has kind of been swept under the rug a little bit. We'll talk a little bit about it this hour, and I'll have my, of course, world infamous predictions certain to go wrong.
You could always have on commentary on Raw this week. You just have Miz again, but have him do an impression of JBL, so Rat Boy will half be right.
Oh, there you go. True. He has done that before. That was actually pretty classic looking back. All right, let's get one more here before we get to a bit of business. Let's get to Ron, who's been hanging on. Ron, welcome to Pro Wrestling Weekly.
Yeah, how you doing this week?
Pretty good. What's on your mind?
First of all, you're the guy who's with you.
Cory Kastle, yes.
Yeah, congratulations on a speedy recovery.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Listen, I guess this is would be a reference to you myself. Calling in regard to these wrestlers who are like Jerry Lawler, 62 years old, and they shouldn't be in the ring. Do they get clearances to wrestle at their certain age to wrestle?
Well, obviously, I mean, you have medical personnel at all the events, and they're obviously checking on these guys for various things. Now, Jerry Lawler did note over the weekend prior to the heart attack that he had some chest pains. He was telling us to his son Kevin, but he had passed it off as, it's just indigestion. So I guess if your body's telling you something, you don't listen to it or you ignore it. I mean, how much can the doctors do? I mean, it's that whole you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. Your body can say something's wrong, but if you don't go to the doctor to check it out, then something like this happens. Fortunately, in this case, they were able to save his life.
And I'm looking at myself. Okay, I have a heart condition, heart condition myself. If I knew I was I had chest pain, I wouldn't fool around with it. I went to the hospital and get checked out just in case it might be a clogged artery. And you never know. He's 62 years old. He's under a lot of pressure every day of the week, for the fans. And to have this happen like this, it was kind of scary. Because I thought, at first I thought, was this scripted, that Michael Cole was going to say this stuff? And then hearing that he had a heart attack.
Well, no, you could see that Cole was visibly shaken, and thanks so much for the call, Ron. I got to get rolling. But you could see that Cole was visibly shaken, and there was kind of an eerie feeling like you had back on May 23rd, 1999, of course, the Over the Edge pay-per-view where Owen Hart, of course, had that tragic accident, and you had that same feeling of uncertainty as, all of a sudden, well, we've now got another match going on, but we've got, somebody's life hanging in the balance. And you could definitely feel that. I mean, there was no question, at least in my mind, that obviously it wasn't part of the entertainment, it wasn't part of the storyline, that something legitimate had happened to an individual. Now, I don't know. As far as the health thing, doctors have looked at Lawler, and for 62 years old, he's extremely healthy. He doesn't drink, he doesn't smoke, he doesn't do any kind of drugs or anything like that. So I guess because he was in such good health, I guess something only slightly abnormal didn't seem like necessarily a red flag. I can kind of understand that. I don't know. Anyway, we're already up against our first break. Of course, Fearon here with Cory Kastle. He'll be making his return to the ring tonight. Let's talk quickly. Well, yeah, we'll talk a little bit more about it in depth later. But you'll be in Reading tonight, that's at. You told me the name of the. I keep forgetting the name of the bloody stadium. First Energy Stadium. That's right. That's where the Reading Phillies play out in Reading, PA, and that's going to be a 7:00 start. And should be.
I'm going up against Ray Alexander. He posted some stuff today about kicking me in my face on Facebook, and I said that I was going to do something that I can't talk about on the radio.
Gotcha.
Back. And so I already know that he's not really going to hold back. At a time we were friends, and now it's really not that way. So as soon as it's over, I'm going to feel it's like finally this has happened. And
now. Here's something I'm thinking, because obviously, your head is a target based on everything that you've been through. Has there been any thought of looking into some sort of protective headgear or face gear or anything like that, or is?
I have not thought about that, but I thought about in wrestling. If the fans are looking at it, the fans would be like, "Hey, if I was in the match with this guy, I'd go directly for his head." But I've learned already throughout, just like even before this whole thing happened, just protecting my head and
So that obviously hasn't changed. If anything, it's just become a little bit more emphasized.
Right. It's more about trusting myself than trusting what other guys will try to do to my head. But as long as I go into every situation knowing what the situation is, I'll react accordingly. Of course.
Makes perfect sense. Anyway, Fearon here with Cory Kastle. We've got more coming up. We've got Nick on the line. We've got predictions certain to go wrong for Night of Champions. Of course, we've got the No Surrender results, some other news and notes as well. Still a ton to do. A couple more segments here on Pro Wrestling Weekly here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com.